Archbishop Ryan. It's a rivalry night tonight here at Archbishop Ryan against Father Judge. You, Aaron, along with Jack Cap. Can you hear me? Or we all... Good. All right. Okay. We are here at Archbishop Ryan. Father Judge, Archbishop Ryan. Very important rivalry game in terms of the Philadelphia Catholic League. I am Matthew Aaron. Jack Cap is alongside me. We've got a fun one tonight.
Yeah, it's just starting up right now. Judge versus Ryan. It's a neighborhood rivalry. Goes way back. Last year's game was 2-0. Ryan won the game, but Judge is the higher-ranked team tonight.
Now, one team's playing in good form. That would be Father Judge, 6-1-2. Archbishop Ryan, 2-6, however. So the struggles for one team or the other. But when you see teams that come in these sorts of rivalry games, the old phrase in soccer goes, you throw form out the window.
That's right, and especially with these neighborhood rivalries. Anybody could win these games. I mean, the last few games for Ryan have been very close, 1-0 losses, 3 in a row. The LaSalle game went down to 30 seconds, 0-0, and LaSalle scored a goal. LaSalle's a very highly ranked team, to say the least.
They won 2 of their first 3 and then haven't won since. They've lost now 5 in a row. For Father Judge, they've been great away, but they've been playing some very good soccer. They have 6 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws.
That's right. They're in the 3rd place right now. Ryan needs to win this game in order to maintain a playoff position.
So what are you looking forward to most in this game? How is it?
Well, I'm thinking it's going to be a very close game, Matt.
Goals? More of a struggle defensively?
I think it's going to be a struggle defensively. But, you know, anything could happen here. Obviously, I'm expecting like a 1-1 type of a game. Siddiqui Fofana, number 7 for Ryan, is a transfer sophomore from Northeast High School. Did very well there, and I believe he has 11 goals and 2 assists in this season so far. Scored a lot.
Is prolific.
Yeah, scored a lot early in the season. He's right in front of us right now. He's from Liberia, by the way.
Well, plenty of good soccer players have come from Liberia.
Yeah, Liberia is a hotbed for soccer. He's the oldest of 5 children. And
when you have to deal then, when you're starting to get the attention that he now gets as somebody who scores 11 goals. He's the first player that everybody's going to say, we have to defend him. We got to put 2 on him. You have to try to man-mark him out of the game.
Exactly.
It's a difficult task for somebody that young, trying to grow into tactical awareness, trying to grow into their body physically. And it makes it harder then after scoring all that. And, of course, when you're a striker, form is everything. And once it goes, it can go for a while.
That's true. I mean, the kid loves soccer. He lives for soccer. He lives up a bit of a distance. He bicycles here, and he's very well respected. His English is excellent, and he's very bright. And, again, like you said, he's been keyed on. No question, doubled and triple team.
If Ryan's going to win games, he's probably going to have to score goals because he's got 11 and the rest of his team has 4.
Right, so there's only 15 goals in this season, whereas Judge has scored 30, approximately 30. I saw 29 and 31, so I'll give him 30.
We'll give him 30.
I'll give him 30. So they're a higher scoring team. In the goal for Ryan, let's see if we can get this down, is Bryce Fadaco, and I believe Bobby Mulvena is in the goal for Judge. I'm not sure. We're a little short on the starting players tonight, but we'll take a look at that.
Ryan in all black and all white for Father Judge. That'll give a good contrast. Soccer is always a sport of contrast in terms of colors.
And that's good for us.
Yeah, well, it makes it good for all of us here. As downline, Jagger Latimer for Father Judge. Up here on this right side. Didn't get any outlet. This will spin out for a throw right by us.
Ryan Haney, the coach of the Raiders, Archbishop Ryan, was working for SFBN last year as a co-host on our soccer show. So we got to know him very well. Great guy, and also a very successful coach.
When you're dealing with the struggles that his team's been dealing with, how do you get that, the positivity, keep that positivity?
That's a good question. I know Ryan is a strong coach, and he really gets the most out of his players. There's Siddiqui way in the corner.
All the way in.
Look, that's a score.
Great goal.
I told you about him. Whoa.
Through, single run, and he scores his 12th goal of the season, in and out in a flash.
Did you see him turn the corner there, Matt? What a shot. Did you see that? That was a 75 to 80 mile bullet smash into the goal. That was beautiful. There's Siddiqui.
And that is tenacious run going forward. It didn't look like he had much of an angle and that was in and out before anybody could even notice it.
I saw a quote from Siddiqui. There was an article about him recently. He said, "Soccer is everything, man. Without soccer, there's nothing."
That sounds
How about that?
It sounds like something that you would hear from so many, and you can see why. That's 12 goals now.
That's a 15-year-old guy.
75% of his team's goals already.
Yes. Well, he was a high scorer early on at Northeast also. Northeast is a school right down the road, maybe 3 miles away.
Right, so they are the team that started out fast. They've had more possession. They've had a little bit more going forward.
That was a smash. That was an impressive goal. It was on the far side, but we felt it.
Well, you can see you're driving in that forward run, and you can see he's confident.
Jeez.
Even if the goals aren't there, form is everything, but confidence is everything for a striker. A player who isn't that confident isn't going to be able to make those runs. And the Ryan bench was absolutely ecstatic when you saw that.
Well, it's been a couple games since he scored because he has been doubled and tripled.
Games, period, since they've scored.
Yeah, well, he's from what I understand, he scored 6 goals early on, 5 or 6 goals in the first.
Haven't scored a goal since they
here it is. He had 9 goals in the first 4 Ws. So that's Fofana, no question, a high-scoring sophomore.
Haven't scored in their last 5 games, and they score within the first 5 or so minutes is.
It's a good sign for the Raiders.
Good sign for Ryan, and it tells that they're up for this game.
They need this game, like we mentioned before. Lose this game, you're probably out of the playoffs. To the best of my knowledge, they take 8
That's a brilliant ball from Fofana
teams.
with the outside of his right boot.
He's also got 2 assists this season.
He almost found one there. That was a great ball. There's Devlin there. Dylan Devlin is a senior. He has a couple of goals. 2 of the other goals for Ryan down on this left wing. You could see just the confidence just to spin that ball with the outside of his left foot. Not many players can do that.
It was impressive.
A couple years older than him, opposed to what he's been doing already in this game.
A very impressive goal. The Raiders lost 2 very good players last year, Will Stackhouse and George Montag. They were the high scorers last year. They're both playing for the local college, Holy Family. It's a Division II school.
Down the street?
Down the street, and they're both doing very well from what I understand. Will Stackhouse was an impressive athlete, to say the least. He was a great player. I saw him play a number of times last year.
Tyler Myers is the goalie. For Judge, he could have done nothing about that one from Fofana that went right by him.
Who's in the goal? I couldn't hear you.
Tyler Myers.
Okay, it's Tyler Myers.
Senior.
Okay. I couldn't see who it was before.
98 is a typical goalkeeper number. Sergio Abelardi.
Oh, there he
trying
is.
to
I see
charge
him. Yep.
Forward.
Yep.
There's a collision, and the free kick's going to go against him. The Judge players aren't pleased with the decision, but it goes the way for Archbishop Ryan. And with this being the rivalry that it is, we have a great crowd on hand. Should create the atmosphere. Is one of the great things in all of the rivalries at any level of soccer, doesn't matter what it is the atmosphere. Well, you got a great atmosphere here tonight.
The schools are only a few miles apart. The kids know each other. A lot of these kids played together coming up. They played for St. Catherine of Siena, a whole bunch of them, from both teams, that is, which is a local parish here, a local Catholic parish. And some of them play on club teams together. There's a pair of cousins on the opposite teams. Jim McDonald's on Ryan, and Mark McDonald, his first cousin, is on Father Judge.
Neighborhood rivalry splitting up families, too.
How about that? Yeah.
That's what this sport does. Velarde tried to play that through. It's all very choppy right now, but we're going to get a free kick. Ryan a little bit ragged defensively. I think it's about 25 yards out.
That's a good opportunity. And we have Judge setting up for that direct kick.
3 in the wall on this free kick. Went for the ground and went right into the wall and get a second chance, and that's not going to hit the target.
Big shot over the crossbar. The referees tonight are Craig Hackett and extremely experienced George Montoya. I believe he is in his 37th year as a soccer official.
All around here in this area.
And he told me his legs are still good.
Well, you got to be that, running around with these kids now.
So when he said that to me, I challenged him to a race.
And how did that go?
Well, we'll race after the game.
Oh, after the game?
Yeah, we'll go after
Hopefully, here on FFBN, we'll show you that. The post-game entertainment. Maybe we'll show it to you at halftime. How about
funny.
that? How about that? Oh,
That would be funny, yeah.
That would be great to see.
To tell you the truth, I think I could take George.
I'm not going to judge. I'll just
I think I could take.
call it 100 meters.
100 meters, yeah.
Okay.
We'll go to length of the field.
Well, you need legs to be able to run in this sport.
There's a player down.
Father Judge players down. I think there's Aiden McShane. He was in a tough
yeah.
challenge there.
It is Aiden McShane, yeah.
Right about 25 yards in. Yeah, nasty challenge coming in.
Yeah.
I think that was Devlin who went to ground. Looks like McShane's all right.
That will result in a second direct kick within the last minute. Referee Montoya is going to place it down. Oh, it's going the other way.
Actually, yeah, it looked like that was going to be a challenge.
Way.
I'm surprised this is actually going the way.
That's a
actually, it's
see that?
They're giving the ball sportingly back.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
We played about 15 minutes. Siddiqui Fofana already with a goal. Finally, for Archbishop Ryan, they have had almost no luck scoring in the last 4 or 5 games. Haven't scored since the game against Carroll on the 14th.
That's right.
And now, with Fofana in good form, scored 11 goals. It well ran dry a bit, but now you can already see as soon as he gets on the ball, his head's looking up, and everybody in white has to corral around him just to make sure that he doesn't find any space. Meanwhile, this is Michael Martins, one of the better goal scorers for Father Judge. They don't have a Fofana-like goal scorer, Father Judge, but they balance their scoring load, so there's a lot of different threats going forward.
Right, Judge's scoring is pretty spread out. They've scored 30 goals, as we mentioned before, and 26 assists, by the way, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So
McShane trying to burst down the right wing. Again, Devlin went to ground. He didn't make the challenge. Cross came in. He's pretty easily dealt with by Ryan. We haven't seen much from Father Judge going forward as of yet.
The leading scorer for the Judge is Owen Oveka, has 5 and 4 assists.
Number 17.
Yeah, and Michael Martins has 4 goals and 5 assists.
You can see him trying to get up the right side for Father Judge. There just hasn't been a lot for them going forward as of yet. See, they're not quite on the same page in an attacking sense. It doesn't look like it's just anything that Ryan's doing specifically. Just the way that they've gone and attacked the ball, attacked the men in possession, has already been a successful formula. And for the moment, I don't think Father Judge has had any chances on target just yet.
Early in the season, Ryan had a very big victory. The ball's going to die there, I believe. Yep.
Myers will kick it out, but only as far as Fofana tries to head it back, but there was no runners ahead of him.
Ryan beat Springside Chestnut Hill, which at the time was top 20 in the nation. They may still be there. And it was a 2-0 victory, so they had high hopes early in the season, and then a series of difficult games where they lost
just tough results.
1-0. Yeah.
Coin flip games.
I think the LaSalle game hurt the most because it was 0-0 with 30 seconds remaining.
That's a heartbreaker. This is played all the way through, but no one's going to get there except Fedako, the goalkeeper, and that's been kind of Father Judge going forward at this moment. Not really any ideas. You have to give credit to Ryan again. When you've lost 4 in a row, you've had trouble scoring goals, but sometimes the best kind of game when you're in that sort of form is a rivalry game because you automatically get up for it every single time, whatever the form may be.
And again, these kids know each other. I think probably most of them have played against each other, and it is clearly a neighborhood rivalry.
Fofana trying to get onto the end of that.
We have a little blocked vision here because of the Judge bench, but we'll do the best we can.
Feynman trying to get it to an outlet in the form of McShane, but again, he can't hold it up for very long. Martins looking for a crossfield switch. Gave a lot for Abelardi to do, but he's able to track it down. He's looking for another driven cross. McShane was the intended recipient of that. There's always a body in the way for Ryan.
Looked like Devlin took that off the face. Didn't even bother him.
Already been involved in some pretty dangerous challenges, and he's gotten a few. Again, it's Fofana who is immediately causing trouble for Judge the first instant he gets on the ball.
And immediately drew a lot of attention with a double team in the corner there.
He'd have to. At this point, he's already proven
Yep.
one man, I believe even 2 aren't going to defend him successfully.
They know who he is, and I'm sure they've scouted him.
Off the bounce, and up by McCarthy, a junior. Fofana was able to get to it and tried to shoot from about 40 yards away. That would have been a world-class finish, any level. Not going to happen there for him. But he's confident, and you can see that by even just thinking about taking a shot from there.
I actually thought it glanced off the Judge foot, but they're giving a goal kick. Tim Purcell into the game for Judge. That's number 4.
Junior, 3 goals. They can
Right.
bring a lot of goals off the bench, Father Judge, and that's the difference in the way that Judge has played versus the way that Ryan has played. They can bring goals in off the bench to change the game, to change the way things are going. Archbishop Ryan can't really do that. All their goals are starting.
And 12 different men on.
Mark goes off his line, but it's headed beyond him and in.
Wow.
Off the line came Fedarko, and I think it was Purcell who came right in instantly to get a goal. He hasn't been on the pitch for more than a couple of minutes, and it's 1-1.
I'm waiting to see if that was a goal or not.
He headed it beyond him.
No, it was not a goal. That's a goal kick. That is not a goal.
Well, the flag must have gone up. We couldn't see that from here.
It was a tough angle for us, and Ryan
it's
does
still-
not have flexible nets.
Yes.
So you can't really see the net move.
Certainly looked like
In
it
that
went in,
sense.
but I think he was offside.
Yeah, these referees will definitely stop the clock with that the hands above the head on a goal. I did not see that, so that's why I was hesitating.
Certainly looked like he got in. Maybe there was a foul in the build-up. That might have been what it was, too. Purcell went in and collided with Fedarko, the goalkeeper. So it's still Archbishop Ryan leading by a 0-0. But now Father Judge is starting to find their feet in this game. This is Feynman.
Nice
Go
reverse there.
1v1, but he had a heavy first touch. He still continues, though. The cross is dealt with, well, there by Archbishop Ryan. Had bodies in the way. Dealt with it confidently. Colfer will throw it in.
Good quick throw in.
This Purcell has already created some impact right coming onto the pitch. Feynman will try to look for an angle to cross. It's off a knee. Still a bit of a scrum for it. Now we've seen the pitch tilted a bit. Much more Father Judge pressure now after the first 15 or so minutes where they weren't really in the game. But there they give it away. As McDonald was looking for an outlet, one of the freshmen for Ryan. But again, now Judge trying to swarm to the ball. They're doing a lot better with that now in possession. Abelardi here on the left. Wants to cut it back onto his right foot. He's double teamed. Throw in will go Father Judge's way. I try to take it quickly. It was a heavy first touch from McShane. He tried to rip then another cross, but the whistle, I think, had already gone.
And here comes Mark McDonald for Judge, number 16. You'll see him coming into the game there. Once again, he's the first cousin of Jim McDonald, who plays for
He's on the pitch at the
Ryan
moment.
Raiders. Yeah, that's right. You just mentioned his name. 22 coming out of the game, and that is Ryan Colfer for Judge. He'll take a minute to speak to the coach, John Dunlop.
Going to have to take the throw in again after the just blew the whistle. That's a decent-looking shot. It was off a leg
Nice
of a
placement.
Ryan defender. Fedarko would have been interested in that.
You can't leave.
And now Fofana trying to burst forward. He's 1v2. It was a dangerous challenge that he got by, and then he gets down at the end of it. He is in some trouble. The first challenge came in, looked like from Oveka. He went to ground to try to win the ball. It looked like he skipped by it at the first time of asking. We'll see if he's okay. Maybe it was the second challenge or the landing that came in. It was the follow-through, I think, from Oveka that got him.
I think he hyperextended part of his calf, or possibly a little bit higher, and he's going to stay in the game, so he is okay.
Good to see that.
Yep.
He tried to jump over the challenge.
He's very athletic. He is hurt, though. I'm looking at his
He
face.
is definitely-
He's grimacing. He's staying in the game. If the trainer comes out, he must come out of the game. So if the trainer enters the field, which she has not, I believe it's a woman. I think I saw her earlier.
Doesn't look like
So
he's
far, so
walking
good.
or running with that much of a limp. That's a good sign. It was a tough challenge. There have been some strong challenges in this game. That is befitting a rivalry such as this.
Yeah, he like you said, he didn't get hurt on the contact. It was what happened.
He tried
after
to
the contact.
jump over the
think-
challenge, and once he did, he took an awkward step.
Exactly. I think he caught his foot in the turf. Yep, in the grass.
Judge going long quickly. Purcell was the closest to it, but
It's a smart
You have to
play.
give credit to Archbishop Ryan. Every time there's been one of those long balls in, one of those crosses, they've dealt with them very well, although right now the game is certainly tilted towards Father Judge. You can see they're trying to go for more of these long balls. That's going to be too long for anybody, and it's a goal kick. Again, it was Purcell who was, again, the furthest forward. He's got 3 goals, and he's been involved in everything. Had the moment earlier where it looked like he scored, but it was waved off.
That's right. By the way, the Raiders' defense has been very strong so far. They play 5 across in the mids, if I remember correctly. And what I'm seeing here, I think I have seen that correctly, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have some active mids, some very athletic mids.
Well, you're going to make it hard for the other team to go through you through the midfield, so you have to go wide in order to have any sort of chance. That's why you're seeing all these crosses. And for Ryan right now, it's definitely more defensive. You want to try to contain, you want to try to keep it close, and they've definitely done that. We haven't seen a lot of great attacking soccer from Father Judge at the moment.
We can't really hear Coach Ryan Haney right now, but last year he was so vociferous and so on target with his
Fofana is the outlet. He's not going to get there.
with his comments to the team, that is. We did a whole show on what he says to his players during the game.
You could probably do a whole show based on what you say.
It was part of a show. Yeah, he was great, and he explained everything, and he's a really good coach, a very successful girls coach prior to this, Matt. 4 Catholic League championships as a girls coach, and crossed over about 2 years ago.
Well, last year was more success than this year, but with the changing
Well, he
of
had-
players, and so many key players that he
He
lost.
lost 2 great scorers. He lost Stackhouse, who was one of the toughest kids I've seen on the pitch in many years, and Montag was not bad either, but he lost some scoring. He's playing some younger players. Don't forget, some of these guys are sophomores and juniors.
Fofana's a sophomore.
That's right. He's got a big
You
future.
can see a lot of these
Yeah.
underclassmen. A good chunk of the starting 11 today for Ryan are underclassmen.
I work at Northeast High School, and I know they were not happy about losing Fofana, but it's the way it goes. His family moved, and he got an opportunity. He gets a good education here.
Williams tried to get that clear. He skewed it, but at the second time of asking, Ryan did better. They've done enough defensively.
Yes, no question about it.
Right now, as Judge starting to put a little bit more passes together, definitely better passing moves, though not there. Again,
Except
it was
for that.
Purcell
Yeah, right.
was trying to get on the end of it from Feynman, and he couldn't do so. And you have about 18 minutes still to go in the first half. Ryan through Fofana have the lead. Good work from McShane to hold that up. This is Rolla trying to get back there first. It was a dangerous back pass, but he got away with it.
I don't think Coach Haney's going to like that play.
It is dangerous, but they did get away with it
They got away with it, but that can backfire on you.
It is always risky to play out from the back like that on those back passes.
Right, you want to take that to the outside if you can. Fofana's down there by himself a lot.
He's very isolated. Well, that's what happens when you go to 4-5-1, which is what it seems that Ryan has done.
It does appear to be a 4-5-1.
You asking a lot of Fofana. If there's anybody who you could ask a lot of,
right now, that's what it appears to be.
After he proved it in the first goal.
Yeah. I think his speed is very, very.
On the goal, he was able to get by a couple of defenders.
Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the old saying? You can't teach speed?
You can't. You can teach a little speed, but not much.
Especially in those quick bursts.
Right? You either have it or you don't, generally, but it can be improved on with technique.
Avalardi by the corner flag. Should be a throw-in very, very deep here for Judge. And Ryan Haney is haunched over at this point. He knows that right now the flow of the game is going more towards the visitors. And so his team's going to have to try to find something to get back to this game, trying to get meaningful possession. Left-footed cross coming in, went over the first Judge head, and on the bounce, Ryan just about able to get it clear. But they are certainly under a lot more pressure defensively than they were in the first 15 or so minutes when it was Ryan who had the better of the play.
Yeah, time of possession in the last third
I have to
of this
say,
half
we're
has
looking
been
more 60-40% possession for Father Judge.
Easily, maybe even higher. Yeah. It's been down there a lot, but the defense has been stalwart, has been very strong so far for the Raiders of Ryan.
Judge with the throw in here on the right wing, trying to push forward just a little bit. Again, there's always a Ryan body in the way. And being able to close down the spaces, there haven't been many for Judge to attack, and
You're
that's
right.
what you have to do. And it's why Fofana has been pretty isolated for most of the evening.
But that early goal has given Ryan an opportunity to
Defend.
To defend, exactly.
To defend for their
right.
lives.
Change their strategy a little bit. I don't think they were expecting to score so early and so quickly.
Within 5 minutes, it didn't take much. Was in goal kick coming.
We're going to have a sub coming in. Looks like Justin Gessner for the Raiders of
Junior.
Ryan. And coming out is, who is that? Nick
Marchesano, I believe.
Marchesano.
Number 6. So
Look like
just
number
about
6.
15 minutes. We've played 30.
Outside
Ryan
mid.
leads. But Father Judge trying to get something going, although Oveka just overstepped the ball and slipped. Fofana tried to come back and get some possession, but he can't. And I think maybe Ryan are trying now to put more forward. That's Josh Young, one of the seniors, who ended up going up to support Fofana just a little bit, as he is isolated, and that means there's not really an outlet, an outball for him, and that's so difficult when you're 1v2, v3 perhaps, and you're just trying to hold up play, trying to get possession, and it's really difficult to do that when you're that isolated.
He's all by himself. He's out on an island down there.
There are certain forwards you could imagine where he would be successful in that sort of position, and certainly Fofana has already proven he could be capable. Great supple set of touches there to get one through, but it was already out for a throw-in anyway.
Well, besides his speed,
you could just see that touch.
Yes, I was going to say he's got nice touch. He's also got great ball skills. He's really a complete package. I remember seeing him last year, and don't forget he was just a freshman last year, and nobody had ever heard of him. But I thought right away, I said, this kid has a ton of potential.
And he's already proven that.
12 goals.
12 goals,
2
12 of
assists.
16, couple assists.
Yes.
And you saw a couple of the great touches that he showed. Not just there on the goal, but there was also a great cross with the outside of his left foot to switch the play.
Oh, he's dangerous. Also scoring.
In another country, we'd call that class.
Yeah. Dylan
So
Devlin has put a couple goals in, and David Holly, I guess is
Dylan Devlin's been probably the other player when he was on that was creating most, not necessarily going forward, but his intensity in the tackles was fantastic. This is going to roll out by the corner flag. Should be a goal kick, and it is.
Well, yes, it will be. David Hoholly has 2 goals, and Teddy Westervelt has 4 assists. Jim McDonald has 2 assists, and that's it for the scoring and assisting.
So it shows you that a lot of it's coming off
point
not
production.
Great passage of play. It's coming off more broken passages.
Yeah, and I would think that the Raiders expected to score more this season, but right now they stand at 16 goals, which includes Fofana's goal in the first half.
So now, 12:50 thereabouts to go in the first half.
So they're averaging 2 goals a game about, which isn't horrible, but again, they've lost several heartbreakers.
But also you can see, but a lot of those goals came in big blowouts. Again, McDevitt, 5, 3.
True, early in the season,
Yeah,
that's right.
free kick coming.
They lost to Wood 4-0, and again lost to LaSalle 1-0 last minute, and lost to Lansdale Catholic 1-0 in their last game.
Those tough games when it's just not going for it. But the confidence is there. You can see that they're playing a little bit more of a spring in their step, and they're very organized. If there's anything to say, even when you don't have the ball, they have been organized, and Judge really hasn't had any good chances outside of the one we thought was a goal that turned out not to be.
Well, there's 13 teams this year in the Catholic League. I believe Devon Prep is a new team in the Catholic League. I'm not 100% sure. It might be their second year, but
cross was blocked, comes again through, but
so
trying to get a body in the way. There's always multiple bodies back.
Out.
Fofana not able to settle that down with his first touch. He was too close to this near touch line.
Fofana, we've been talking about him a lot, but I'll say one more thing. His family lived through a civil war, Matt. It was in the paper, so it's public knowledge.
In Liberia.
He was 11 years old.
A nasty challenge.
Yeah, 11 years old when he came
Sweeney bundled over. I think that was Devlin again, who has been giving out some tough tackles, and this is a good free kick for Judge. Now let's see what they can do with it.
Another set piece for Judge. It's a third direct kick, down about 25, I'm thinking, yards, possibly a little further.
Brendan McCarthy, who has a goal and a pair of assists this season for Judge, who's going to take this number 21.
He might try to bend it himself there.
It's a hard angle for a right footer. He did
go
for goal, and he tried to slice it with the outside of his right foot. It's a difficult angle from there.
Yes, he did,
That's more in-swinging from the left foot. From the right foot, you would think he'd try to go for that line just around the edge of the penalty area. It didn't quite work for him. And a thought on Fofana, he will not be the first player that has been successful in soccer in this country after escaping the civil war in Liberia.
Yeah, Liberia produces some really good players, as does most of West Africa. There was a lot of Nigerians.
A couple of Liberians are going to be representing. One has, and one currently will be representing the U.S. men's national team in Darlington Nagbe, and Tim Weah, son of former FIFA World Player of the Year George Weah, who's now the president of Liberia.
Very good athletes. Yep.
And
I mean, in their country, soccer is the sport. That's all they play, basically. There's no baseball, there's no football, there's no basketball, I don't think so. Maybe some basketball.
you get the sense you talk to some of those players and the passion they have about representing their adopted country is truly something. And I had a chance, fortunately, to cover a recent U.S. men's national team game, and you get to talk to Tim Weah, and he is one of the most engaging players you've ever seen, and you can tell that his story makes him more eager to represent the United States. And playing for Paris Saint-Germain, that's a pretty tough forward group to crack, and he's done well with that. I think Martins has come back in. Yeah,
Michael Martins, a junior, coming back in.
And he's going to replace
for the
Mark
Crusaders,
McDonald.
And it looks like Mark McDonald's going to step out, also a junior. McDonald had about 12 minutes in there, I think.
Martin's one of the better goal scorers, 4 goals and 5 assists, so he's contributed on 9 of the 31 goals that Judge has scored this year. Again, Fofana is the last man the furthest man forward.
The only one.
Basically, as you can see Judge just trying to push forward. The fullbacks are going further forward with every attack. And that means if they can get it to Fofana, he's going to have space to run into, and there's a possibility for a counterattack.
It is a possibility, I mean, with his quickness and ball skills.
Majowski, the freshman, trying to build possession from the back. Ryan not really pressing the ball that highly.
See, there's nobody there.
Ryder Latimer trying to get that, but he completely skewed his clearance into the Father Judge bench. This is one of the first times in the last few sequences that the Raiders have had a chance to go forward. Bouncing ball by the corner flag. I think it went out for a goal kick. I believe it did.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of an obstructed view here, but we're doing the best we can with those plays into the near
down into
corner.
That left wing corner going towards your left.
I'm going to look on the monitor there and see what happens.
The run that we could get good defending, calm defending from Father Judge to usher it out. That is never as easy as it looks to do, especially when you have someone on your back shoulder.
That's right.
Flicked on by Oveka, who is wearing the captain's armband.
And here comes one right to our director, right over our heads.
And our director, Josh, almost made a fantastic catch.
Very long arms, very tall guy.
He almost reached out and grabbed it, protected us.
Former goalkeeper.
Yeah, former goalie, you better have good hands and good reach.
He was in basketball. He could dunk in basketball.
Well, there you go.
I think.
Should be a free kick, and it is. Going to be right in front of the Father Judge bench. And so this is going to give Archbishop Ryan their first real set piece of the day.
It is their first set piece. I was just going to say that. An opportunity here for the Raiders.
See, this is swung in from the angle.
Can we see it? I can't see.
I think it's Kevin. I think that would be Tyler Shoemaker, the senior.
Should we scream, get back on the bench, Crusaders?
Driven towards plenty of bodies. Father Judge had got to it first and rose highest. Gessner now by the right corner flag.
That might be
ran out of room.
Now they're going to go goal kick on that. I thought it might be a corner.
Had a heavy first touch, and back in will come Abelardi, who I believe will replace Tom Sweeney. That's what it looks like. Of course, at this level of soccer, you can have constant substitutions. About 6.5 minutes to play. Latimer here, right side, has some space to run into for Judge.
That's a nicely placed ball, but nobody was there.
Too close, though. The goalkeeper
wait.
spilt it. And then good work by Ryan to go to ground to get that smuggled clear.
I couldn't see who that was.
Just about enough.
It was a very nice play there. We're going to get his number in a moment.
Fadako went off his line to try to clear that. He couldn't quite claim it.
That was Christopher Rolla.
Fadako was able to get there again.
Christopher Rolla made a beautiful play there in the previous possession.
It's a tough challenge to go to ground. Win that. Fofana trying to flick that on.
That was a nice
Young was trying to run ahead of him. He has the quality. He has the vision. I think that you can tell that
yeah.
when he has the vision, you can see the runs being made ahead of him, and he can anticipate the game 1 or 2 seconds ahead of before the plays happen, and that very few players can say they have.
We should call that field awareness. That's a term I used to use when I coached, but
he's aware of everything. You can see.
Yeah, I mean, you just know.
Trying to flick that on for a runner going ahead of him, even if that run never came. Judge in trouble here. They almost get a chance, and that chance slicing over the bar. I think that was Martins who went for it,
Martins.
and Ryan had some trouble clearing their lines. There was the first time of any real defensive nerves for Ryan here, as we have about 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Nice shot by junior Michael Martins. Nice attempt there.
There was a swing in the net. His angle was very sharp and couldn't quite direct it on target. I don't think Fadaco's had to make any saves yet.
Nope. We are just under 5 minutes.
Shane was going to look wide. Abelardi, who switched, he was on the left, now he's on the right. Trying to run into space. Edge of the penalty area, that cross is a skewed cross and goes in behind for a goal kick.
Number of goal kicks for the Raiders here.
And that's a credit, I think, to what Ryan has done defensively, just to keep everything mostly to the outside in these crosses. They just don't have enough quality in them at the moment. You see 1v1 defending, he takes the defender to the byline, but
not even close.
Just can't get much of anything at the moment.
Nope.
And we already knocked down the goal kick. It's McShane looking for a run. He didn't have it. I think that was Rolla who ended up.
Yeah, that is Rolla. Rolla's a big presence.
He's been very strong at the back.
That's a big
senior,
boy. Yeah.
Veteran presence in this sport often comes
center back.
Further back you go, and at center back it is often the most important. He marshals, he ends up helping out the goalkeeper, and he's played very well.
In my day, they used to call him a sweeper, but I know that term is not used anymore. But he's
a
the center back.
in Germany from the 1970s.
Look at that. Here he was again. Good chest trap. Nice check. You see that?
Trying to get away from the defender.
But did you see the footwork? That was nice footwork right in front of us.
Oveka throws away. You can see instantly how he's able to just settle that down, and there's no...
He changed directions.
There's no rushing with anything that he does. Anytime he gets a touch, but he's just been isolated. He has not had as many touches as I'm pretty sure that Ryan Haney would have liked. McCarthy is forced to go backward. Fofana trying to press. Moran got away with it. Velarde for Latimer. Under pressure, but he's able to go central. Time for Rajowski. It's a good spell of possession here for Father Judge. Looking by McCarthy. Judge header went up for it. There was a collision. The judge bench wanted a free kick, and they didn't get it.
I would have called it. It was a nicely placed ball.
2.5 minutes thereabouts to go for Judge. They've had the better of the play. They've had the better of the possession, but not necessarily the better of the attacking chances.
Once again, I believe they've had the edge on time of possession.
But lost it.
Yeah.
Ball stays in for Feynman now, who's gone to the left. Seen a switching of the flanks here for Father Judge. Fofana is the last man there. Goalkeeper's off his line. Tyler Myers. It was not dealt with particularly confidently, but Judge gets away with it. That is dangerous goalkeeping from Tyler Myers. Well off his line. Fofana was a step behind. I didn't think he was going to get there, but it asks a lot of those two center backs who are the furthest back and the only ones back for Judge there.
Fofana almost broke
He almost latched onto the end of that.
Yes, he did.
He could see the speed, too, and he nearly was able to get that. Oh, this is Westervelt, and that cross is too close to Myers, who was able to easily claim it.
That's actually, I think, a shot on goal for Westervelt there.
It was neither a cross nor a shot.
It may not have been. Well, if it was a shot, it wasn't very effective.
Trying to cross it ends up getting closer to the goal than he would have liked.
It's kind of a waste, I know, when a player does that, but...
McWilliams looking ahead. Velarde flicks it on. McShane's running at it. And that cross, he gets left in a heap. And another dangerous challenge. It was again Purcell who got in and almost got there. But again, Ryan doing just enough defensively.
And that looked like a real nice play by Tyler Shoemaker coming across. If I got the number correctly there, I think I do 23.
Abelardi was in a ton of space, but the cross wasn't quite good enough. There was another runner coming in. Here's the corner. Judge got to head to it first, but he couldn't head it towards the goal. Martin's by the corner flag. Will try to reset. Right back and looking for McCarthy, but they're forced backward. It's good pressure from the Raiders. Feynman. Now it's Rajowski. On for Oveka. Trying to sweep in across. It's a decent-looking ball. Came all the way through. Off the bounce, McCarthy tried to play it. This is McShane. And Abelardi. The shot was blocked by a couple of Ryan legs who were just in the way. Oveka then tried to shoot that, and it's well over the target. And we have to be pretty much near the end of the half. Still, Ryan leads.
The clock is kept on the referee's wrist under 2 minutes. So I believe our clock has stopped.
This should have to be just about close to the end of this half.
Yep.
There's definitely won the header, and that is the end of the half.
Yep.
Ryan leads. Siddiqui Fofana with an absolutely wonderful goal less than 5 minutes in. Father Judge has had the better of the possession, but they haven't been able to generate many good chances from it. Ryan, right now, the home team leads by a goal to nil here on SFBN. We will be back with the second half in just a moment. And welcome back to Archbishop Ryan. Right now, the Raiders lead by a goal to nil over Father Judge. Siddiqui Fofana has the goal, and it is right now Ryan have the goal, and they have bent defensively and have it broken.
That is correct. That's what we've been talking about in the first half. And we'll see if it continues here, playing Fofana up top all by himself, and 5 mids, and it looks like I guess that would be
4-5-1 seems to be the formation. It is a defensive formation by its nature. And right now we've seen Father Judge in all white. They're now going from right to left to right, back the other way we should say. And for these teams, right now you have to say the better of the play has gone the way of Father Judge, but they haven't really been able to take advantage of their opportunities. Defensively, they have been incredibly stout.
And Tyler Myers, by the way, the goalkeeper for Judge, has 40 saves this season with just
He's
12.
had a couple of adventures in this game. One moment off his line a little bit earlier.
He's got a shutout. He's got 12 goals allowed the entire season.
Father Judge
well, 13. Make it 13.
Father Judge has been pretty decent defensively, although other than really that goal they gave up, there hasn't been many chances back the other way. Now, the case may be now is how does Ryan, if they attack, do they try to consistently go to attack, or do they try to defend and hold on to what they've got? We'll see what adjustments Father Judge made at halftime, trying to see if they can push a little bit more forward. They have not been able to go centrally almost at all. They've needed the wide areas.
There's a nice
from
ball.
Aiden McShane and Sergio Abelardi. Is Abelardi going to get there? He will not. But that's the kind of attacking play that we've seen from Father Judge, where they've been forced to go out wide pretty much the entirety of the match. And when they've had a chance to cross, the crosses haven't been there.
No, and that was a nicely placed ball. It was just a little bit too strong, and he was not able to
It was overhit.
Yeah, overhit a little bit.
That was Marchesano who slipped and lost out. And now McShane, who's been on the ball a lot. You'd expect somebody wearing number 10 to get on the ball as much as he has. But he tried to go cross, looking for Latimer, and he couldn't get it. And now you can hear Ryan Haney being vocal. I don't know if you can hear that, but
Coach Haney coaches the entire game and is a very intense coach.
Does he have an off switch?
Yeah, he does, actually, but not during the game.
I would imagine that.
Oh, no, he's a very friendly guy. We had a great time last year when we did the show. A lot of fun. And just during the game, he's into the game.
Fofana tried to touch that around Latimer on that last move, and when Abelardi went down, it's a free kick just at halfway.
When SFBN first started, I believe one of our very first games was here when he was the girls' coach.
Yeah, it's great to be with you here on SFBN. Jack Kapp, Matthew Aaron, so great to have you with us at Archbishop Ryan. Pretty beautiful night.
It's a perfect night.
Perfect night for this sport. Great crowd on hand, of course. Neighborhood rivals, backyard rivals.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell that the intensity's come in with some of the challenges that we've seen for both teams. It has been sometimes a physical game.
And there's
Now
Fofana.
Fofana After
Look at that
McShane couldn't
speed.
chest that down, trying to break all the way through, but he had no
Ooh,
support,
boy.
and trying to go through 3 defenders is impossible even for somebody of his quality.
He's got to be careful on that. He tried to force himself through a wall there.
He already took a knock earlier, but he seems to have run it off. And now it's Latimer who's had the ball a lot on the right. There has been almost nothing for Father Judge going centrally, and that's the 4-5-1 and all of the midfield pressure doing what it has done. And
I don't see any reason to change it. Right?
at this point right now, I think Ryan He's probably going to be comfortable with wanting his team to just hold out at this point. They've been defensively sound enough where there haven't needed to be made many changes as Feynman tried to play that centrally. Colfer was the closest to it. This is going to go out towards the Father Judge bench. So it should be a throw-in for the visitors.
Yep.
And now the question is there going to be a change of approach in attack right now for Father Judge? They're going to have to find another way through. And right now it hasn't worked going wide. And right now, still, another throw-in coming for Judge. Down by the penalty area, there's another decent-looking cross. Abelardi wasn't going to get there, but Oveka has. Gets by one. Try to put it in with his left foot. No forward runs being made, but Oveka trying to continue on, and Judge unable to keep the move going, at least temporarily, as Ryan smuggled it clear. And now the pressure continues. Colfer on the turn. Outside of his left foot. It's a decent-looking ball. Down by the corner. Did that stay in? Bodies went down. Multiple bodies went down. And finally booted out into touch. Another throw-in for Judge. Colfer throwing that in. Right by the edge of the penalty area. And again, right now, this is the kind of passage of play we're seeing. A lot of pressure from Judge, but nothing really that dangerous. Here's a right-footed cross coming in. Only Ryan heads were there. And again,
Gonna get a throw in
we're
on
going to
that.
touch another throw-in just by the corner flag down on this left side. It has been basically all Judge in terms of possession here, as it's thrown back in pretty quickly by Feynman. Another cross, and again, Ryan do well enough to get it away. Abelardi back with his right foot, and that's catching practice for Fidako, and the move ends.
You know, I'm looking around here. You mentioned it was a well-attended game. They're like 6 deep behind us, and then there's another whole bunch of people behind them up on the hill there and ringing the entire field on the other
Students,
side.
parents, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't
Even-
matter when these two teams play in any sport, it's a big deal.
Even old referees I'm seeing behind me here.
People you
Well
might
attended.
know.
Yeah, I do know them, yeah, as a matter of fact.
It's a reunion of sorts.
Well, they
here in
like
Northeast
soccer.
Philly.
I mean, they like the game, so they're coming out to see a good game. They live in the Northeast.
Latimer trying to push forward. Martins. Again, across to nobody really in particular. Not many runs being going forward. Shouts for handball very briefly from Abelardi, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. He was the only one who thought that was played with a hand. Right now, you have to say, this game is being played on Archbishop Ryan's terms.
No question about it. So far, this defensive strategy has worked for Coach Ryan Haney. And it would be, if it stays like this would be a major victory. Put them back into a possible playoff position.
Even though they would only have 3 wins out of a possible 9.
Yeah, but they still have a couple games coming up. So we have St. Joe Prep, Bonner Prendy, and Cardinal O'Hara coming up for the Raiders. Now, I believe Judge only has 2 games left, or let's see here.
Couple left.
Yeah, we'll
Whatever the
get
case
that.
may be, no more than 3 or 4.
Yep.
Free kick coming for Father Judge.
Well, Judge well placed.
And Ryan Heads get there first. Yeah, they're probably going to be making the playoffs, no doubt.
Third
They're
place.
one of the.
Oh, no, they're in. They're in. Yeah, they're definitely in. That's just a position. They have Lansdale Catholic and LaSalle coming up. That's it.
They've already proven, I think, pretty fairly that they have the quality. They haven't necessarily shown it tonight, but in earlier results, you can see how well this team has played. Goes all the way through, and again, Fidako's been confident, and he's gotten a lot of help from his defense, hasn't he?
Well, they've scored 30 goals, I was going to say, Judge, this year. So there's no question that they have the goal-scoring ability.
As long as they have it. But now the story might be for Judge whether they could put it together in games like this when there's going to be more pressure on. Because this is kind of a approximation of a playoff game, isn't it? When you're playing
really
a rival,
yeah.
the pressure's on, and they haven't shown a ton going forward. It's only that one moment from Fofana, but beyond that, they've had their chances. They just really haven't taken them. And throw-in coming for Ryan just inside the Father Judge half.
Well, this could be a coming-of-age game for this young Raiders team of Ryan Haney. 1-0 right now with 31 minutes and 54 seconds in the second
Played
half.
about 8 minutes in this half, 40-minute halves.
That's right.
This is going to come much further down and going to be a decent opportunity again. And we'll see right now if there's anything for Ryan going forward. If they score a second goal, it could be game over, the way that Judge has been stymied in attack. Off the bounce, that was Rajowski trying to clear it. He had trouble doing so. The second time of asking, he does better.
Stamina will come into play late in this
Fofana,
half.
heavy first touch, almost got his way through it. That was a ferocious shot.
That hit somebody in the face.
I think that was McCarthy who took it right in the face.
Was it the face? I believe it was.
Certainly did.
We're going to have a stoppage of play here.
Sacrificed his body to get into the way of this. That was a vicious shot.
Oh, that was, wasn't it?
And again, from Fofana, it took him one or two steps and one or two touches, and he's in. Thankfully, I think McCarthy's okay.
Hey, that ball had some miles per hour on it, didn't it, Matt?
It had some venom in it.
I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. That's a broken nose possibility right there.
Don't want to speculate on injuries, but I
believe he's got to come out of the game.
I think he will have to, but you would like, as a teammate, you'd love to see your teammates, your defenders, getting in the way of those kinds of shots and sacrificing their body.
I don't even think he had a choice on that one. I think it's just like...
Well, he went to ground. He tried to do something, but that's what you're coached as a defender to do.
Here he comes.
It's going to be Chioka who's going to come on the junior for...
So it is Brendan McCarthy.
McCarthy, who...
I don't see any damage to his face.
Thankfully.
Still a good-looking kid. He's going to get some attention from the trainer, I would hope. Tough kid,
of course,
captain.
With everything that's been going on with
right there, yep.
With concussions in this sport and all sports, when something comes in at that velocity.
There's a clear protocol in high school sports. She's doing it right now. She's checking his eyes and his dizziness, etc. Yeah, she's checking everything. I see it.
I don't know, a little booted ahead, but that's Fofana. When he's had a chance to touch the ball, quickly.
That was wicked. That shot was really strong.
That is not the shot of a high school sophomore.
No, it's...
Martins tried to go all the way through. It ended up being a shot. It was a weak one, and Fedako ended up dealing with it pretty comfortably. But every time Fofana touches the ball as a sophomore, you can see something. He's going to get a lot of interest from some pretty big-name college programs, you think, if he continues to play like this.
From what I understand, he's a good student also and well-behaved, which comes into play, of course. But he's only a sophomore,
but when
so
you
it's going to be a year. It's going to be a year or two.
You talk about just the talent you can see. There are going to be college coaches, not just in the city of Philadelphia, but everywhere, salivating at the possibility of getting him.
And he's the oldest of 5 children, and I guess a couple of them are male children too, so you may see a couple more Fofanas coming through.
If there are any like the first.
Yeah.
Throw-in coming here for the Raiders. We've played just about 10 minutes in the second half. Check, it'll be a free kick just on halfway. Ryan sending all of their bodies forward. They still lead by a goal. All the way through it comes, and that's too close to Myers. Senior is able to catch it and claim it.
Easy play for him inside the box there. And he'll give it a little punt. A big punt.
Fofana, with the great vision. I played Chioka. That's those little touches, those little pieces of vision from him that you can see. There is something there that there isn't really at any other player on the pitch. And that's not to say that they aren't good, but Fofana just is at this point another level. Every time he's touched the ball, his vision, his tactical awareness is spot on.
It has been fun to watch that. I mean, he hasn't gotten all that many opportunities, but it's been fun.
Every time he's touched the ball, there has been something that has happened going forward. And McCarthy is going to come back in, which is a good sign. So apparently he's no worse for the wear after taking one in the chops.
Oh, he's been released. They did go through the protocol. I was watching.
And Purcell is also going to come back in for Father Judge. They need everything they can get going forward. They haven't had much.
Here's Rolla.
Roll it back defensively. He's had a pretty strong game for the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, he's a solid player. He's the heart of that defense.
Shoemaker trying to touch that on for McWilliams on the left side.
I don't know what role his height and weight is, but he's looking to be
Has a physical size of a center back, a big, imposing, old-school center back.
That's right. I'm going to guess 6 foot 190, but maybe bigger.
Young tries to play that forward. Latimer took a touch. It's not a back pass, but Myers is going to have some work to do. He played it like it was a back pass. He wasn't sure, and he didn't take the risk. I didn't think it was a back pass from the initial look, but it's
you can't take that
coming,
chance.
but you can't take a chance because if he does give that away, it's a penalty.
It's an indirect.
Well, indirect free kick almost as good as a penalty.
That's what it is, yep. If he reaches down and touches it, that is.
Corner coming, I think. I believe there is going to be a corner coming for Ryan. I think they've only had 1 or 2 tonight. And not only will this give them a chance to go forward and attack, but it also will give them a chance to bleed some of this clock. Couple of Judge players around Myers. It swung in towards the back post. Fofana went up for it. Smuggling bodies everywhere. Goalkeepers down. All sorts of bodies are down. There's a massive humanity. We'll see whether they're going to get another corner coming. I think that's been the decision. Yes, it's going to be another corner. Nearly a second goal for Ryan. And Fofana got up and almost headed on, but he couldn't get a lot of power or direction on it.
Looked like Coach Ryan Haney enjoyed that one.
Well, he thought that was in.
Yeah, there was a lot of activity right in the front of the
far
goal.
post.
Far post. And now there's going to be a corner. We don't have
another in-swing with the
there
right
he is.
foot.
I see him now.
Headed on, off.
Nice head shot.
Good work from Colfer. Again, a Ryan head went and met at first. Colfer was in good defensive position. McShane tried to play that, and that's going to be going out for a throw-in. And Judge is going to try to take it quickly. Silvecca down the left wing. Ryan a bit exposed at the moment. Becca almost went beyond his man. And it's going to go out for a goal kick. And for Father Judge, they're going to need to do something. And maybe moving quickly like that. Also, Angelo Primavera is going to come in along with Purcell and McCarthy. It's good to see McCarthy coming back in. I think that Colfer and Martins are 2 of those that have come out. And right now, that might be one of the chances that Judge has to go forward and get something going at pace is when Ryan had put bodies forward on those corners. They had a lot of them. They were a bit exposed. The counterattack just didn't stick.
The Crusaders have been frustrated a number of times this game so far. 28 minutes? I can't read that. 25?
Something along those lines.
Looks like 25-42 remaining. A lot of time left. It's only a 1-0 game. Once again, endurance
Fofana
will come
trying
into
to burst
play
forward.
here.
Want to throw. It's Fofana who has the goal, and right now it has been his play that has been the inspiration for the Raiders in this rivalry game. The Crusaders haven't played badly, but they haven't been able to do a ton with their possession, and they haven't been able to break down Ryan in a 4-5-1, and tactically that's been the solution that's worked. Defensively, they haven't had many problems in the last couple of games. It's just been scoring. They got their goal, and now they've tried to defend it, and for this point through the game, after the first 5 minutes or so, after they got that goal, they've defended very well.
And it's not for lack of effort by the Crusaders. They certainly are in this game and trying hard.
They can't really go sexually. They've had a couple of half chances, but none you'd really say that they should have definitely scored. This should be a free kick, and
it will be, yeah.
McCarthy took a tumble. Played it about 15 and a half minutes. Judge pushing forward. Right-footed cross coming in. It missed everybody, and it goes to Fedacco. Looked like Purcell, who's been one of the better players going forward for Father Judge tonight, almost got to it, but he couldn't rise to meet it.
Fedacco's going to give it a boot.
Both the goalkeepers really haven't had a lot to do in terms of saves.
No, there really have not been that many challenges for the keepers tonight.
Haven't been many chances, period.
No, that's true. There's the big boy
Roll
in the
again.
center.
Strongly to meet it. Whistle goes. Free kick. This time going for Ryan, and that will allow them to bleed some clock as Rolla boots it deep.
Oh, look at this.
Off Dawson on the end of it.
Oh.
It's McDonald trying to go after his left. Myers collides
That's
with
gonna be a
him.
Corner.
Where's the ball?
That was
It's been
saved.
out. It
Oh.
still stayed in. Myers is down. That hit the outside of the post.
Oh.
That hit the outside of the post. There was a collision between Myers, who came off his line. He's been eager in doing so. He collided there with McDonald. The ball never went out, and at the second chance, Ryan put it off the post. That was nearly the second goal.
That was McDonald. I thought he should have gone to his left foot initially, but he was able to get a shot off, and it hit the
Myers has certainly been willing to get off his
hit the
line.
post.
Fofana couldn't reach that header, and Latimer will be able to settle it down. It's been a bit of an adventure for him tonight. These risks he's taken, and to this point, he's gotten away with them. But Ryan are going forward. Fofana's on the ball again. Couple of great touches. Trying to get to his right foot. Still going, Fofana. And still going. The chance was blocked. Judge got in the way of it, but Fofana, he kept faking like he was going to shoot, kept encouraging the defenders to come in, and then he did shoot. A defender was in the way, but look at what Fofana was able to do here, as Oveka and Justin Gessner, 2 17s, are going to come in for their respective teams.
Angelo Primavera is coming out for Judge.
You could see what happened there with Fofana. Just as soon as he gets the ball, nobody can get it off of him, too.
Dangerous
And that strength and drive and determination on the ball, and the tactical ability. That cross is going to be catching practice for Myers. I think it was Young who tried to float that in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say, for Archbishop Ryan, in spite of the fact that they haven't had a ton going forward, the chances that they have created, they've been decent. They had a couple in this half. Arguably, they've had better chances in spite of their lack of possession than Father Judge has. Chioka going to this left wing. This is going to go out. And it's going to be a Ryan throw. Soccer field just about halfway through the second half. As Colford's going to come back in shortly for the Crusaders. And on by Chioka. Just not many runners, not many options going forward. Velarde trying to push that away from the Judge bench, but he swarmed but gets away. Good set of touches by him. Able to get that for Rajowski, one of the freshmen starting for Father Judge. It's more of an experienced team, this. Purcell trying to drop deep. And for the first time in about 15 minutes or so, he's seen a good extended spell of Father Judge possession. Oveka, he's double-teamed.
And once again, this is a very young Raiders defense proving themselves today against a top-level
Oveka, a
team.
little 1-2. Our side, there's a collision with Purcell. Play continues as McShane tried to go for it. Goal kick. Certainly most of the Father Judge players thought that was going to spin out for a corner. It did not.
Right. Here comes
Colford's going to come on.
Colford,
Number
right?
22.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you can see right here, just by the corner, that's that collision, a couple of bodies getting in the way. Those were the struggles that you see right now. And there's also Rajowski, looks like he's going to come out too for the Crusaders. And that's been really the story for Father Judge going forward. Decent build-up play, decent approach, but nothing once you get really into the final third. Now, this will be a frustrating night, I think, for Father Judge. They haven't really had many nights like this season.
No, they've had a very good season. 6 victories.
Good set of touches here. Judge might be in. The cross is a very poor one, though. It was overhit.
Deep cross, yep.
I think that was Oveka who got a good first and second touch him, and then when he went to cross, he overhit it and misjudged it. That's a let-off for Ryan. And again in front of the Judge bench, the throw-in coming for the Raiders. Again, Rolla is able to get his boot to it.
Rolla has been a
He has
force.
been immense at the
No
back
question.
line.
He's my MVP today right now.
Man of the match.
With Fofana, but right now Rolla
Right
has
now,
held the
Rolla's
defense.
probably done more since the goal to keep Archbishop Ryan ahead.
He's the senior back there. He's the big boy.
In the experience, you can see that.
Yep.
Throw-in coming for Father Judge as they try to get something going here. Going forward, there just hasn't been enough. Enough quality. And that's Moran, one of the seniors.
Dangerous.
That's a
Yep.
Hossfield ball, but
I thought Fofana
Agner Latimer's going to get that. It's hard for him to latch onto the end of that cross, even though it was decently close to him. We'll see what happens here. He's going to have a chance to run, but he doesn't have much support. It's 1v5. He's the only black shirt right now. Now he gets support, and he does really well to hold up play.
Exactly.
And those are the little things that great forwards can do, though he did too much of that to Moran. It's booted back forward. Myers went for it. He misjudged it, slipped, and ended up getting away with it. Myers again will boot it long. Ryan Boot gets to it first. That was Orbe who got there. And this from Chioka is not what he would have liked, and it's right into the Father Judge bench. You can see the look of frustration on all the Father Judge faces. You can see it on the coaches, too. They're just looking for answers, and the answers really at this point haven't come.
No, and yet it is a winnable game for either team. A 1-0 score.
What you got to think is one moment. That's all it really takes in these games, one moment. And right now, Ryan's had their one moment. And to be fair, they've actually had the better of the chances in front of goal than Judge, in spite of the fact that Judge has had more of the approach play.
Ryan cannot let up on the intensity. This is a very good Judge team that can score a lot of goals.
Judge with the throw-in coming here.
1 goal will tie it. If we do
send us to extra time,
it goes to 10-minute, 2 10-minute periods, golden goal.
Down by the corner flag. Judge trying to create something in an attacking sense and not going to here. It's free kick given away. Overeager on the challenges, and the frustration is truly there. You can see it on the faces of some of the Father Judge players on the bench. Just nothing that they've tried seems to be working.
Players are still into it, though. All the bench players are standing up right at the touch line, blocking our view, of course, but that's okay. And they are really into the game.
Work from Chioka to get away from pressure.
See, that should have been a deep clear there.
Westervelt tried to clear it, and again, work from Chioka. Now Abelardi, he's swarmed at this point by black shirts. That's been a theme of the night. Latimer's got to play this bounce. He did very well to do so.
Yes, that was a nice play.
Carthy had trouble. There was a shout for hands. Young tried to play that forward, but again, there's just nobody ahead. When Ryan has a chance to push this ball forward, throw-in's going to be coming for Father Judge, and
accurate call there.
Ryan Haney's not pleased.
No, that was the right call. Yeah. Oh, Hector, yep. I've forgotten his first name.
16 minutes to play. Still Ryan leads by a goal to nil. Is there a moment for Father Judge left in this game? There's going to be a free kick coming, I think. It's going to be on the left wing, just by the Father Judge bench, and if this is going to be the case, there's going to be a great chance now for Father Judge to swing something in.
An opportunity to put the ball in the box.
And they need to take advantage of these chances.
Yep,
I think it was Oveka who got challenged. That was a nasty challenge, in fact. Cynical in many ways. And we'll see what happens.
Here we go.
Deep service with the right foot. How deep is it? A little bit too deep. It's headed back towards the penalty spot. Ryan gets it away at the first and second times of asking.
There's James McDonald. Jimmy McDonald, the young player.
And now
here comes
Fofana. He has
a man. He's got a man.
Tries to play that through. Chance for Archbishop Ryan here. Good challenge defensively by Judge. I think that was Latimer who went to ground and won it. Fofana tries to play that through. This is a weak shot.
Not a good.
Goes all the way to Myers, but that was nearly the counterattack.
Yep.
And we've been talking about for Archbishop Ryan, and the Raiders nearly took advantage of it again.
Yeah, not a good decision there at the end by Fofana, who has made a lot of good decisions in this game.
It's hard because he doesn't have too much support. That was one of the first times he's gone forward where he's had any sort of meaningful support.
Yeah, he needs the support.
That was kept in by Purcell, just about. Now, should be a throw-in coming here for Archbishop Ryan. Off the bounce, Fofana gets it away, but gives it away.
Had a nice
this is
idea
Sweeney,
there,
but he's turned it over. And now it's a chance with a long shot. That was far too out from Teddy Westervelt, but he had some room and he had some space, and with the left foot, wasn't a terrible idea, but he dragged it wide. Colfer out, and Martin's back in.
Teddy Westervelt, sophomore, center defensive mid.
But he's been able to get 4 assists on the campaign, so he's been able to do some work creating. Wearing the number 8 means you can go forward, but you're equally adept defensively. The number 8 role is a very, very difficult role. You have to run a lot, and you have to be very energetic in the center of the park, and he certainly is.
Stamina is an issue with guys like that, and those are your guys with the endurance.
Don't think he's come out yet in this game.
There.
McShane. That's for McCarthy. And Chioka misplayed it with his first touch. Going to keep this in. He's lost his footing and his balance. That's going to give it back to the Raiders. That's been that kind of night for Father Judge. It just has not been their best soccer. And for Ryan, this is a game that they will absolutely want to build on going forward, and one that they will take, you would think, it's kind of one of those results that could change the dynamic of an entire season.
No question. It'll give them an opportunity, depending on what happens in the last 3 games, to get into the playoffs. If they can get in, anything could happen.
Well, when you have somebody like number 7 in black, scoring is not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best of balls going through from Young. Fofana was making the run ahead of time.
I thought he was going to get a
doesn't necessarily have the service. This is Tom Sweeney trying to charge it forward. Chance goes wide, but it's going to be a corner. It took a deflection off of a Ryan defender. And a big chance now for Father Judge, and this is one that they're going to, you would think, have to take advantage of.
I just watched the replay on that attack
from
by
Ryan a second ago.
Previously, and it just was not a good pass. Fofana was onside.
He was onside. He makes the run. He knows how to get off the back shoulder of the defense. He's got everything you want in a forward.
And he had space, too.
He's done everything you could possibly want. And he's only 15.
15, I believe. Yeah.
They're going to go short on this corner here. McShane trying to set it up. Now the right-footed delivery is not a good one. It's headed up in the air by Young.
Oh,
swing and a miss from Sweeney.
Sweeney had a shot opportunity.
Oveka now on the left. He tries to shoot it, but that was not the right decision. It was too close to some of the defenders for Archbishop Ryan, and it's a goal kick. Oveka and McShane have been the best going forward for Father Judge, but they haven't played their best, and a lot of that is credit to Ryan. You can see right now, as Oveka, he had a good set of touches, but he couldn't get around the defender. It was too acute of an angle.
And once
again, he did well to get a shot away with a series of 2 touches.
Once again, Rolla has been the heart of that defense so far.
When you're going to play a game, when you're going to ask a lot of your defense, your center back, senior leadership has to be one of the big stories. This is booted well out in the touch. And now again, Judge will have a chance to throw it in. Less than 11 minutes to go. Time not necessarily their enemy yet, but it's getting there. Father Judge came in 6-1-2. Ryan was 2-6. They were 8th in the league. Father Judge 3rd. It would only be the 2nd loss of the season for the Crusaders and for Archbishop Ryan, who has had plenty of struggles this year winning games.
Now,
lost 5 on the spin.
Here we go.
This could be a major moment for them in their season.
Tripped over the ball there. I think that was, I can't see who that was. Number 8, that was Teddy Westervelt on the attack. There's a big long pass.
Well, Fofana's not going to get on the end of it. At this point, I think every clearance is going to be long, but Judge has to do better defensively to try to build that from the back. That was good work from McCarthy, though, to deal with Fofana.
Nice
McCarthy took that shot off the face earlier in the second half,
yes,
and he's come back, and thankfully he's no worse for the wear, and has to go
third.
and deal with Fofana again.
There's a nice chest trap by Fofana on that long ball. Wasn't able to do anything with it.
If there's any player that has stood out, number 7 in black has been a star tonight. And it's not like he hasn't already written his name on the score sheet many, many times, but maybe stars are more built in games like this. Another cross came in from Judge. Was dealt with. Colford trying to swing it in. It's not a bad ball. This is a good chance for Father Judge. And again, Ryan get a body in the way. McShane tried to get that one in. It was Martins, I should say. And his shot was blocked, and now it's Fofana 1v3. Now he's getting a chance to drive forward, and Latimer
nice
went
play.
to ground with a great challenge to break up the counterattack.
I actually thought that Fofana should have gone to his right there.
Still going, but he's got no help. Taken away by McCarthy. He's had a pretty solid game for all that he's had to deal with. You have to say, that was a great challenge for Jagger Latimer, the junior, who had to
Excellent.
go to ground. And if he gets it wrong, Fofana's in behind him, and it could be him versus the goalkeeper.
Right, which is why I thought Fofana should have gone to his right and used his speed, but he accepted the challenge, and Latimer was able to get the
We
ball
haven't
out.
seen many challenges like that at which Fofana has been able to get away from like that.
Looks like Nick Marchesano is going to go into the game as soon as he gets the opportunity. I think he missed his opportunity there.
Fofana tried to flick it on, and it's going to come close to Tyler Myers. Still, Fofana's 12th goal of the season in the first half. 1-0 lead for Archbishop Ryan.
I don't know the stats in the Catholic League, but he's up there somewhere in the
He has to
leading
be
goal
one of the
scorers, I would think.
Top 5, top 3.
Yeah, now last year 8 teams made the playoffs. It could be 9 this year. I'm not really sure. Here comes
Marchesano will come
Marchesano.
in.
Young Marchesano is a junior.
He'll replace Gessner, junior for junior.
Outside mid, yeah, coming out as
Looks younger than a
Gessner.
junior,
I
but
thought he was a freshman actually when I looked at his face, but he's listed as a junior.
we won't judge here.
No, he just looked very young, but he's into the game.
We're not the judgmental type.
And outside mid,
Fofana
Marchesano.
tried to flick that on, couldn't do so. Again, the best of the play has belonged to Father
saw a
Judge. That should be a
shove-off there.
push.
Yes, that should have been.
Now, Fofana continues on for Oveka stepped in, and now we get the whistle, and I think this is going to be advantage being played for Archbishop Ryan. No advantage really developed. Ryan Haney's been a lot quieter in the last 20 minutes of this half than he was in the first 15.
Yeah, you can hear him sometimes. I mean, we have the headphones on, but look, we're looking at him right now, and he is involved in the game, no question about it. As always.
Now we're down to about 7 minutes to go.
Ryan Haney, a coach that earns his money. So is John Dunlop of the Crusaders.
Earns his keep.
They
Deep,
earn
deep
their-
service.
yep.
Myers again coming out two-fisted. Punch confidently done.
I thought he should have taken
Martins.
control of that, but that's okay.
That's the right decision. It's hard to catch that.
It's okay.
On the
Yep.
counterattack, here comes Judge.
You
It's
gotta get that
Oveka trying to
ball
play it off the
outside.
bounce, and there's a full-throated collision. Free kick coming. We're going to see more than that? Well, I think we might.
There's a player down for the
Oveka went up for the
Raiders.
challenge. He's booked.
So
There is a player down for Archbishop Ryan.
can't-
Oveka went up to
can't
try
see
to
who
win
it
the
is.
header. Could be Vesterveld. That's what I think it might be. And after showing the yellow, he has to come off. No real hesitation from the referee there in that decision. He was definitely second best in the challenge, and that is kind of emblematic of the entire night for Father Judge.
good call by the referee.
Clock stopped with 6:30 to go. Second half, and right now Archbishop Ryan looking at their first win perhaps since early in September. They haven't won a game since
No.
the 10th, so almost a month.
Once again, they started out very well with the win over Springside Chestnut Hill, which is an Interact school, by the way. Top 20 in the nation, I believe.
Abelardi. That was behind Sweeney, but he ended up getting through. A couple of Ryan players went to ground. One of them was Vesterveld. He gets away with it, trying to clear it, and the throw-in will be going the way of the Raiders. It's been that sort of night for those in white.
Still 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes now.
More like 5, and there's another full-throated collision. And now there's a player down,
Oh,
and
yeah.
now
I'm sorry, 5
players
under
coming
6.
together, and lots of pushing and shoving. This is what rivalry games are all about. There was a vicious challenge in there first and foremost. Once again, officials
Somebody's
going
gotta
to the
step
back
in there.
pocket.
Yeah, and cards are going to come out.
There's going to be multiple cards. Let's see who gets shown yellow. All the students are back there. That was closer to them than it was to us.
And the keeper running all the way downfield there for...
It was Tyler Myers who came
Father
all the way out.
Judge
Let's see who
Myers.
ends up getting the yellow. The officials are going to have some work to sort this out.
This is always very difficult for the officials in a situation like this.
It was a similar challenge to the Oveka one just a second ago,
Yeah.
which got him booked.
Yeah, our exact time right now is 5:51 remaining. Clock
And we
is
might
stopped.
need a little bit of time to sort this out. Two officials are
Yeah.
going there to try to
There's
sort it out.
a-
We'll get you the information on bookings when we can.
There's some bulbs missing from that clock, so sometimes we're going to have a little trouble reading it. Officials are
I
discussing.
think this should be in the end, it should be a Father Judge free kick. That was what started it with the initial challenge. We couldn't tell from our vantage point who went in and ended up causing the fracas to start with. Let's see who ends up getting shown yellow.
I don't see anybody yet, but
There's a card in the
here
hand of
comes
the official.
one.
There's one.
Yep.
I think Fofana gets
Fofana
booked,
gets
and
out.
another player, I believe this is going to be Sean Moran, a senior, who's going to come in.
Okay, so coming into the game for
Oxali's
the
going
Raiders.
to, first time he's going to come in, and Fofana for the first time is really out.
Yes, that is correct. And who came in? I think Brett Rajowski came in for
Think
Judge.
so.
Yep, right. Number
I think
5.
it was Moran, number 18, who was shown yellow.
Okay, now those players have to sit out 5 minutes.
And there
under high
isn't
school
much time.
rules. 5 minutes apiece.
And Oveka just got booked. That was the first booking of the game, but now we have 3 players on yellow cards.
Of course, they can be replaced at this level in high school rules. There's something on the field. I can't tell what it is. Something orange, but I'm not sure. Maybe the referee dropped something.
Carthy's standing over the free kick. We're going to get another change being made. That's number 17, Gester's coming back in for Archbishop Ryan, and Lesterville came out. All hands on deck now for Ryan trying to hold on to what they have.
So we're going to see a direct kick for Judge here with 5:51 remaining. 1-0 lead for
They're going to
the
go
Raiders.
short. Abelardi with the overlapping run. The cross is not a terrible one. It's off of Ryan head first. Now there's a foot race on. It's going to go towards the sidelines. Think this is going to be a Father Judge throw, and it will be.
And
It'll be Purcell who throws it in, but before that, it's
Tim
gonna be
Donovan.
Tim Donovan, the senior who has 3 goals, is going to come in as well.
Clock is running.
Now running,
Donovan
we're down
to
to
trigger.
5:20, and it's going to be Donovan. I think he's going to try the long throw, which is as good as a corner.
Yeah,
Ryan
he's-
Haney's on his haunches.
Yeah, let me tell
Flicked
you.
on, off of the dance, and that one, not a great hit from McCarthy. It's still not dealt with, and there's a goal for Father
it's off
Judge.
the
Oh, it's
post.
off the post.
It's off the
Excuse me,
post.
it's off the post. Everyone thought they scored. It went off the post. It looked like it hit off the inside of the post and went in, and that was the best chance for Judge, and it nearly,
Fedako was back and forth on that one. He didn't know whether to go for it or
the
not.
entire bench for Father Judge thought that went in.
It looked like it almost did.
Off that near post. Latimer boots it forward. No Fofana as an outlet now after he was shown the yellow, so he can't play until there's less than a minute to go. Another free kick is coming, and this one will go the way of Judge. How close was that chance? And we could get a chance to watch it again.
It was very close.
It was just not good defending in any way from what we saw from Ryan. That's the first time they were really creaking defensively.
I think we have a direct. A free kick
Another
here.
free kick coming here.
This is as good as a corner down there.
At this angle, it is good as a corner. Should be right-footed delivery. Plenty of options to aim at. It's driven low and too
Once
low, in
again,
fact. Ryan get a body in the way.
Christopher Rolla.
And that should be a free kick, and it's against Latimer. Oxali did well to back in there and win the free kick, and he did. So how close had Father Judge come to getting an equalizer?
About an inch.
That might be their chance.
I think it was about an inch or two, yep. And once again, Rolla with a big play in there just previous to this. He'll get the direct kick, and he's been the plug on D.
The entirety of the Father Judge sideline was up, thinking that that was the goal that got them level. Off the bounce. This is Marchesano trying to play it forward. Ryan looking to end this game. A goal would certainly end it. Myers is off his line. He's in no man's land. And his defenders did well to help him out. Latimer was one of them. That clearance took a big deflection. McDonald, and now we get a whistle, and that's going to allow Father Judge to relieve some pressure.
We're about to break under 3 minutes here.
Under 3 minutes to go. This is
Just
the
about.
last chance for the Crusaders if they want to find an equalizer. Hit the post a few seconds ago. Velarde, oh, did he touch that with his hand? He did.
Yep, and then he just banged
And
it to the
he is
ground.
frustrated, and every time
He's
the
just
whistle
wasting
goes, the
his own-
clock bleeds.
He's just wasting his own time. That's right. By doing that, waiting to get into this game right now is Tim Purcell or Purcell. I'm not sure how you saying it. Purcell.
Tim Purcell waiting to
Number
come
4.
back in.
He'll come
He's
back
had
in
some of
when
the
he gets
better attacking play, but
opportunity.
only 2.5 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably
Time is
the
running
last
low.
chance for Father Judge. Roller's just going to boot it long, and if Father Judge can get to it, they got to get it up the field as fast as possible. And right now, that's stuck by the corner flag. It never went out. It's going to give a lot for Sweeney to do, and now he has to charge forward. Is he fouled? I think Oh, boy.
Herschel wants to go back in that game.
Whistle
bad.
went against Father Judge. And that's going to allow the Raiders to bleed even more time. I think Sweeney got called for leaning into the defender. And now the referee has to look at his watch to see how much longer we have in this game. We're under 2 minutes to play. Within, knocked down, but Judge gets it away, and now Abelardi, they might not have much more than one chance left. Abelardi gets by his first man, charging ahead. What a challenge by Josh Young. He went to ground, he won it fairly. Oxalis should be onside. And again, Judge get there quickly, the first defender. Now Rajowski, he's under pressure. Spins away from Horvey, and this has to be the last chance.
We're under 130.
Latimer playing it forward. Father Judge does not have much time left. Feynman is marauding forward here. McShane tries to play it through. This will be a decent chance to cross. It's not a bad one, but it went behind. It's a goal kick, and that might be that. And finally, Purcell gets to come back in, but I'm not sure he's going to have much he could be able to do. And Fofana is also able to come back in after his 5 minutes were up after he was shown a yellow card.
We're also seeing
Westervelt is also going to come back in.
Westervelt back in. David Hohali coming out, and also Justin Gessner out. We're under a minute.
Cannot be much left.
Under 30, I believe.
What will be a massive win for Archbishop Ryan on the back of number 7 in black, for which this entire season has basically gone. For Ryan, he scored 12 of their 16 goals.
Right. That's 75%.
And I think that's a foul throw.
Oh,
they took it too
boy.
quickly.
You don't see that too often at the end of the game.
Going to be
like
that's got to be the end of that.
Yeah, they can waste a few seconds.
And
here.
that might bleed the last seconds off the clock.
Coach Ryan Haney, give up the ball, man. There you go.
They haven't won since September the 10th, Archbishop Ryan, but they're about to win here in a rivalry game in which they have been the better team. Father Judge had one last chance late, but they didn't take it.
I don't see
Hit
much
the post,
time left here.
and there cannot be much time left. But if there is, they will have to take advantage of it here with Martins trying to drive forward. Back pressure from Westervelt. Martins trying to get towards the corner. Another good challenge by Ryan. This is out for a throw. Will there be time to take it? No, there isn't.
No, there is not. This game is over.
Archbishop Ryan wins by 1-0.
What a big victory for the Raiders of Archbishop Ryan and their coach Ryan Haney. A big goal early in this game by Siddiqui Fofana.
He scored in the first 5 minutes.
That's right.
After that, it was about holding on, and they held on. Father Judge had a chance of about 5 minutes left. They hit the post. For all that Archbishop Ryan did defensively, they had a couple of chances of their own. It could have been out of sight much more quickly than it was. There was intensity. It was everything you'd want in a neighborhood battle, a backyard brawl, so to speak.
That's right.
But Archbishop Ryan, who hasn't won a game in over almost a month, is able to pick up a huge win here. And they are now 3-6 on the season. Father Judge now 6-2-2. They've got 2 games left. Crusaders. The Raiders have 3 left. Do you think this is the springboard that gets Ryan a chance to even go further on in this season?
A very young Raiders team, and once again, a big victory for them. The Crusaders of Judge are disappointed, but look, it was we said it was going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be a 1-1 type game, and it turned out to be a 1-0 game. And Raiders
We thought it was going to be close?
Have won and put themselves in a possible playoff opportunity position.
Best players today, obviously Fofana and also Rolla.
Rolla, Fofana was great,
Ryan.
but I mean, Rolla was really the heart of that defense, no question about it.
So for the second straight year, this blood goes to the Raiders of Archbishop Ryan. Last year they won 2-0. This year it was 1-0. And for all the intensity, for all of the yellow cards and the tough challenges, there's a mutual respect from both teams. Even though they are rivals, there always is.
They may see each other in the playoffs.
Maybe
if the
they
Raiders
will see
can
each
get
other
to the
again.
playoffs.
The Raiders could get there.
That's right.
It was a good game. Thank you, Jack, for your company. Thank you all for watching us as well on SFBN. I'm Matthew Aaron. Have a good night. It finished here at Archbishop Ryan. The Raiders won and the Crusaders 0.